Hey guys, welcome back to Maelstrom Game Studios. I'm Craig, and today we're going to talk about my latest tournament list and something I am calling the Tyranid Gauntlet, or the whatever Marvel reference, the Infinity Stones, the Gauntlet of the Tyranid Codex. And we're going to talk about that today. Mainly being, first I want to apologize to all of you members. Today there's supposed to be a members only battle report. If you didn't see in the Discord, we had some weird technical glitch. It happens once. It's happened like once a year for the past 4 years, where we just have our mics just stop recording. All of our audio signals and everything look like it's doing fine, and then we get the recording and the audio file is just corrupted. Unfortunately, there's nothing really can do about it. We only got maybe a half hour in the battle report before it started, so I would be having to do a voiceover more than not. So we're going to go without one for this month, and hopefully next month is a better one for you guys. So we're just going to dive into my list, and I will explain a little bit about my Infinity Gauntlet that I'm trying to complete before 10th edition ends. So if that sounds good, do like and subscribe to stay updated on all of our content. Again, members, thank you so much for supporting us, allowing us to do what we do. And all of you who are interested in a little bit of something extra, we do have the Shopify link down below. Get yourself some Tyranid stuff that might help out your army growth just a little bit better, more cost-effective stuff there. So with all that, let's dive into today's video. So let's start with what I'm calling the Tyranid Infinity Gauntlet. And that, for me at least, is my goal is to go 5-0 at least one event with every detachment. Now, I say at an event because I'm going to count team tournaments and regular GTs in the same category. That's because I don't play enough GTs to do every single event possible, and I've already gone 5-0 with 2 of the detachments at team events. So for me, I'm going to count team events, and I'm going to count regular singles events. Maybe you'd want to try something similar where maybe it's just an RTT. You want to go 3-0 at an RTT with every single detachment. I think I've done that actually except for Vanguard Onslaught. But either way, that's what the Infinity Gauntlet is. So for me, before Unending Swarm was nerfed, I went 5-0 at a team event with that. That was a 4-player team event. And then with Crusher Stampede, I also went 5-0 at a team event with that one. And then Assimilation Swarm, you guys know this past fall that I went 5-0 with them as well. And now my goal is to take on Warrior Bioform Onslaught. I have a GT coming up here this coming weekend. It's going to be a 5-round event, and I am bringing a Warrior Bioform Onslaught list. I've been playing this detachment behind the scenes like crazy. I believe I've done 4 RTTs and 3 other pickup games, just trying out little iterations of the list, see what I like the most and which one seems to perform the best. And I have nailed down the list that I am running, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So for me, Warrior Bioform, hopefully we're going to try and check that one off this time. Assimilation Swarm, Unending Swarm, and Crusher Stampede are all done. If I get even if I don't get Warrior Bioform checked off this week, I'm gonna probably move on to another detachment. So let me know what you think that one should be. I might just try good old Invasion Fleet, because I haven't even tried that at a tournament outside of the original Index Tyranids at all. So maybe Invasion Fleet, maybe I try Synaptic Nexus, or maybe I try Vanguard Invader. I kind of want to say Vanguard Invader for when the Ravners come out, because maybe that adds some spice to it. Who knows? And then, fingers crossed, maybe there's another detachment for Tyranids coming up here later this summer. So, I don't know. But that is my Infinity Gauntlet for the Tyranids. Now, what am I running for Warrior Bioform Onslaught? Well, let's go over the list here. Leading it off, in the Warlord slot, we have the Hive Tyrant. I still really like the Hive Tyrant. I thought about putting in Swarmlord for this, but then when the Hive Tyrant got its points reduction, it was really hard for me to find the points to include Swarmlord instead of the Hive Tyrant. If they were the same points, I would try Swarmlord for this list, but we're doing the Hive Tyrant here. We then have 3 Winged Primes. 2 of them have enhancements, 1 of them doesn't. The first enhancement is the Ocular Adaptation. That is the -1 to hit at all times, which is a very, very nice one, as long as your opponent doesn't have ignore modifiers. And the next one is Elevated Might. It's a hefty one, 30 points here, but the threat range of Advance and Charge is just really, really nice to have. It makes your opponent second guess where they send units out into the open or into the midfield, because you have that chance where you can just send a unit out there and deal the damage. So I like that. And then, of course, the one without enhancement. The battle line, the bulk of the army. We have 3 squads of 6 melee warriors. I find 3 squads of 6 is an absolute minimum for a competitive warrior Bioform Onslaught list, at least the way I am playing it. I think the melee warriors are one of the shining stars in the detachment. So 3 squads of 6 of them. I then have 2 squads of 3 melee warriors. Originally, I have been running a 4th squad of 6, but I have figured out after playing many games now that I'm lacking some action units or some cheap trading units. So breaking that 4th squad into 2 3-mans, I can put 1 on each flank, and they can kind of help clean up chaff or countercharge in or just do an action, hold a flank objective. And it's only 75 points versus the 150 that it would be. And still, 3 melee warriors can clean up a lot of chaff in the game of 40k these days. So that's that. And finally, we do have a squad of 3 ranged warriors. Again, they're 65 points. Their shooting is really not what they're there for. It is nice if there's a key unit that is in a position that you need to dig out. We do have the turn off cover strat for the Tyranid warriors. They kind of act like a pyrovore in that regard. So it's nice to have that one unit to just lurk around the back line, screen out your opponent, and if need be, line up that ignore cover strat, because it can be useful. Then we go into the other data sheets, and again, it's very straightforward. We have a biovore, because you need those to be doing action, or not actions, but secondaries that don't require actions. We then have 2 exocrines, some heavy fire support. Tyranid warriors are great at dealing with chaff, but some of the elite stuff needs a little bit of support, so exocrines are great for that. We have a lictor for just popping on, doing secondaries. We have 3 Raveners. These things I've been loving a lot lately. They typically, for me, I start them in my back line. They just screen out for a while, or at least for the first turn, and then they pop down in the tunnels and then pop up. If there's a secondary I need to do, they'll go do it. If not, they just stay back in the backfield, stay safe, and screen it out. And then, finally, 2 Tyranofexes, both with the Rupture Cannons. For a while, I've been playing around with 3 Exocrines, no Tyranofexes, Zoanthropes, no Tyranofexes, trying Venomthropes, Neurolictors, Neurotyrants, all of these different things. And I've come to the conclusion that with this list, it's not about doing all the tricks and shenanigans and pulling it off. It is just brute force is the style of list you're playing here. So I've got the melee warriors just to be a brute force in the middle, and I've got 2 Exocrines, 2 Tyranofexes to be that heavy fire support in the back line. And really, depending on your opponent, it's often smart to walk those Tyranofexes up to the midfield, because they are very durable, and your opponent's going to have to pick, well, do I fight the Tyranofexes or do I fight the warriors? And if they go for the Tyranofexes, well, they're probably going to be able to take it and then allow your warriors to come back in and do a punch. So really happy with how the list is. I have played, just so people know, I have played, I think I've said 15 games with this list. 12 of them are 3-round RTTs, and then the 3 pickup games, like I've said. Out of that, and yes, each RTT had a slightly different list, so I can't say it was all using this list, but each one was slightly different. The core, again, the core was there. The Hive Tyrant, the 3 Wing Primes, at least 24 melee warriors, and at least 2 Exocrines. That is the core of the list. I have gone 3-0 at 3 of those. Let's see, no. I went 3-0 at 2 of those events. I went 2-1 at one of the events and 2-0-1 at one of the events. And then my 3 pickup games, I have all won. So that leads me at 13-1-1 with this list over the past couple months. So I'm hoping that bodes well for the GT coming up here. I will say there is some weaknesses to this list. I think I might struggle with Eldar. If ranged warriors were better, I think they would be better going into the Eldar matchup because their guns are perfect at killing Eldar. The melee warriors are still fine, but the guns are really good, and the melee is still good at doing it. I have not played against Death Guard. I think Death Guard are going to have a good time dealing with this. Specifically, Death Shroud have no problem just cleaving through melee warriors left and right, though they will struggle at things. If they are more tank heavy, they will struggle into the Tyrannofexes and not so much the Exocrine. So that's a matchup that I'm worried about that I haven't played. And the other one, I have played it twice and both times squeaked out with a victory, and that is against Grey Knights. Grey Knights, specifically a Dread Knight heavy Grey Knight list, is very, very good about dealing with warriors. They can deep strike, they can pop down, they can get angles on my melee warriors that I'm trying to hide from, and those heavy side cannons just obliterate my melee warriors without really thinking about it. It is the perfect weapon in the game for killing them, so it's unfortunate. The other army I haven't played, I have played against some, but not the most competitive recent iterations, is Blood Angels. I think a lot of fight first Blood Angels is going to be tricky for me to handle, and it will kind of depend on how I can position my Exocrines to deal with those sorts of things. So again, I'm not saying this list is I'm gonna walk through this event 5-0, but I think I got a good chance with this list, and I have a lot of practice with it. So that's pretty much the video. I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up to what my goals are with this list, show you what the list is, and when we find out, I will report back to you guys. Also, the coming Monday, we're going to be live streaming, and we're going to be live streaming for you UK and European audiences. So our time, it's going to start at noon, which for you guys is going to be 6 or 7 in the afternoon, depending on your time zone. We'll have the link, actually, it should be up here. You guys can check it out. Make sure you click the little reminder, and hopefully we get a big audience because now you UK guys are going to do it. And Matt and I are going to play our tournament list. So Matt's going to play a nasty Death Guard list, and I'm going to play this list, and we're going to showcase our armies and talk about how they did over the weekend. So hopefully you guys are all there for a great time. That's pretty much all I got. Thank you guys for watching. Again, sorry about the no members only battle report this month. Hopefully things are fine, and the next one is going to be fun for you guys as well. So that's what we got. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time here at Maelstrom Gaming Studios.